Commonwealth Stadium is an open-air, multipurpose stadium located in the Macaulay neighborhood of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It has a seating capacity of 56,302, making it the largest open-air stadium in Canada. Primarily used for Canadian football, it also hosts athletics, soccer, rugby union, and concerts. Construction commenced in 1975 and the venue opened ahead of the 1978 Commonwealth Games, hence its name, replacing the adjacent Clark Stadium as the home of the Edmonton Eskimos, the Elks name until 2020. It received a major expansion ahead of the 1983 Summer Universiade, when it reached a capacity of 60,081. Its main tenants are the Edmonton Elks of the Canadian Football League, CFL, and has hosted 5 Grey Cups, the CFL's championship game. The stadium had remained the only CFL venue with natural grass for a long time, until Field Turf Duraspeen Pro was installed in 2010. Soccer tournaments include 9 FIFA World Cup qualification matches with the Canadian men's national soccer team, 2 versions of the Invitational Canada Cup, the 1996 CONCACAF Men's Pre-Olympic Tournament, the 2002 FIFA U19 Women's World Championship and the 2007 FIFA U20 World Cup, the 2014 FIFA U20 Women's World Cup and the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup. FC Edmonton played its Canadian Championship matches at Commonwealth Stadium from 2011 to 2013. Other events at the stadium include the 2001 World Championships in Athletics, the 2006 Women's Rugby World Cup and 3 editions of the Churchill Cup. History. Prior to Commonwealth Stadium, the main stadium in Edmonton was Clark Stadium, which opened in 1939 and was built on a 15-hectare, 38-acre, plot of land. Work on applying to host the 1978 Commonwealth Games started in the early 1970s. With both federal, provincial, and city funding backing the bid, it called for a massive renovation of the city's various sporting venues. The original plans called for Clark Stadium to be rebuilt and expanded to host the athletics events. By 1974, there was consensus that Clark Stadium would not be sufficient and that an all-new stadium should be built. Several locations and sizes were discussed, with Edmonton City Council in January 1975 landing on building a 40,000-seat venue next to Clark Stadium. 2. The venue was designed by Reagan, Bell, McManus Consultants. 3. The city also decided to build additional new venues, Kinsman Aquatic Center and Argyle Velodrome. 2. They based their design on Jack Trice Stadium in the U.S. city of Ames, Iowa. 4. Part of the public support for the stadium came from it being built to also support being used by the Eskimos, the Elks name until 2020. The plans were met with opposition from local residents. There were also discussions regarding the necessity of a $50,000 royal retirement room and the allocation of training and office space to the Eskimos. The largest discussion was related to whether the stadium needed a roof or dome. As the roof would cost $18.2 million, there was limited public support, and the stadium was built without one. 2. In an attempt to further the roof process, the Eskimos offered to pay $1.6 million towards the roof. 4. The Commonwealth Games did not permit an enclosed stadium, so the design would have to call for the roof to be added afterwards. Among the opponents of the roof was Commonwealth Games Foundation President Maury Van Vliet, who said experience from construction of the Olympic Stadium in Montreal showed the necessity of building a simple structure. An alternative design, which would have cost an additional $7.3 million, was launched by the Eskimos in August 1975, but rejected by the City Council. 3. A major concern for the City Council was the large cost overruns being experienced in Montreal at the time. 4. Upper tiers. Excavation started in December 1974 and saw the removal of 380,000 cubic meters, 500,000 CUYD, of earthwork. A local action committee, Action Edmonton, demanded in early 1975 that construction be halted and the venue relocated. The city estimated that this would cost an additional $2.5 million and delay the process with 8 months. 4. The decision to not enclose the stadium was taken on December 10, 1975. 3. The venue was thus not designed to allow a roof, air-filled or stiff, to be retrofitted. 5. The venue was built on the former site of the Rat Creek dump and the Williamson slaughterhouse. During excavation, remains from the dump were struck, resulting in archaeological surveys being carried out. 4. Construction of the Edmonton Light Rail Transit's inaugural line, later named the Capital Line, commenced in 1974 and was opened in time for the Commonwealth Games, which allowed spectators to take the LRT from Stadium Station to downtown Edmonton. 6. Construction of the stadium was completed within budget and time. 2. When the venue opened, it had a capacity for 42,500 and a natural grass turf. 7. Unlike most other major stadiums in Canada, Commonwealth Stadium elected for a natural grass turf. 2. The original configuration included 39,384 bucket seats and 3,200 bench seating on the north end. The venue was officially opened on July 15, 1978, in an event which attracted 15,000 spectators. 4. The venue went through a slight expansion in 1980, when the seating capacity was increased to 43,346. 7. Additional proposals for a roof, ranging from $10 to $32 million in cost, were presented in 1979, but since then the discussion of covering the stadium died out. 4. Edmonton was selected to host the 1983 Summer Universiade, and in 1981 the City Council approved an $11 million upgrade to the venue, which added a further 18,000 seats to the upper tiers and the north end zone. Wink with a frown. 4. This gave a capacity of 59,912 in 1982 and 60,081 from 1983. 7. For special events, such as the Grey Cup, additional seating could be added. This made it the second largest stadium in Canada, after Montreal's Olympic Stadium, and the largest without a dome. 2. After Winnipeg Stadium, home of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, installed AstroTurf on their field for the 1988 CFL season, the stadium was the last in the CFL to have a natural grass surface, a few teams from the CFL's American expansion in the 1990s notwithstanding. It would have this distinction for the next 21 years. Facade. Ahead of the 2001 World Championships in athletics, the stadium received a $24 million facelift. Major investments included a new facade, an enlargement of the concourse, improved lighting, a new scoreboard and an all-new all-weather running track. 4. Ahead of the 2008 season the stadium underwent a reconfiguration, reducing its capacity to 59,537. 7. For the 9 seasons prior to 2010, the natural turf was replaced 8 times, costing $50,000 each time. 8. The natural grass turf was replaced with Field Turf Duraspeen Pro in May 2010, making the Eskimos the last CFL team to switch to artificial turf, and made all fields in the CFL having artificial turf. This would last for 6 seasons, 9, and the last team to play on grass until the Toronto Argonauts began playing at BMO Field for the 2016 season. The investment cost $2.6 million and was split evenly between the city and the Eskimos. 8. The work included the removal of 12,400 cubic meters, 440,000 cubic feet, of soil. 9. And the turf has a life expectancy of 8 to 10 years. It will cost $500,000 to replace. The reasons for the replacement were to reduce injuries, reduce the need for watering and fertilizer, allow a green turf for the entire season, including at Grey Cups, when the weather is especially cold in Edmonton, allow the venue to host more events, as concerts and the like will not damage the field, and that turf is recycled and recyclable. 8. Commonwealth Stadium underwent a $112 million facelift starting in 2009. The main investment was a field house, new locker rooms, a hosting area and 2 floors of office space. 10. The complex, named the Commonwealth Community Recreation Centre and designed by McLennan Jonkels Miller Architects and HIP Architects, also has an aquatic centre and a fitness centre. 11. The complex was completed in February 2012. Following the 2010 Grey Cup, the program to replace the seating at the stadium commenced. All seating, which had been in place since the stadium's opening, was replaced with new and wider seats, and the color changed from red and orange to green and yellow, the Eskimos' colors. Approval of the $12 million upgrade was made by the City Council on May 18, 2011, and it took 11 months to select a supplier, with installation starting in June 2012. The upgrade removed all bench seating, which had been in place in the corners and end zones, resulting in an all-seater stadium. Because of wider seats, 53 centimeters, 21 in, wide instead of 48 centimeters, 19 in, capacity for the venue is reduced to 56,302. The process reduced the number of seats in each row by 13. With the seating installed, the total investment in the venue exceeded $200 million. 14. Before the start of the 2014 CFL season, the track surface was stripped off, thus giving the football end zones a squared-off look. They were rounded off prior to this. 15. On June 15, 2016, the Edmonton Eskimos announced a 5-year field naming rights partnership with the Brick to name the field the Brick Field at Commonwealth Stadium during CFL events. 16. The Edmonton Elks will not sell upper bowl tickets at Commonwealth Stadium for the 2024 CFL season, reducing the stadium's capacity. Facilities. Commonwealth Stadium field level. Commonwealth Stadium has a seating capacity of 56,302, in an all-seater configuration. The stadium has 2 twin-tier grandstands along each side, and single-tier stands on the corners and ends. The sides feature 44,032 seats, with the remaining 12,386 in the corners and ends. The side seats are 53 centimeters, 21 in, wide and have a cup holder, a feature lacking on the narrower end zone seats. The seating is laid out in a colorized mosaic pattern, with dark green at the bottom, yellow in the middle and lighter green at the top. In the sides there are 14,203 dark green seats, 19,019 yellow seats, and 10,810 light green seats. In the corner and end zones, there are 8,672 dark green and 3,713 yellow seats. 13. There are 15 executive suites on the east stand, 7 on the west stand and 8 on the south end zone. There is a limited amount of covered seating on the upper sections of the lower tier on the sides. Half of this section on the east stand is a media center. 18. The stadium has a Shaw Sports Turf Powerblade Elite 2.5S artificial turf system, installed in 2016 by GTR Turf, which covers an area of 10,215 square meters, 109,950 square feet. It contains additional cushioning through the installation of an extra shock pad. 9. The turf lacks permanent line markings. This allows the markings to alternate between football and soccer. 19. Because of the running track, the corners of the end zones were partially cut. In 2014, the end zones were squared off. 20. The track and field segment consists of a Sportflex Super X all-weather running track manufactured by Mondo of Italy. The International Association of Athletics Federations has certified the stadium as a Class 1 venue, a certification only 2 other stadiums have in Canada, Moncton Stadium and University de Sherbrooke Stadium. 21. The stadium prior to its 2013 renovations. At Commonwealth Stadium Complex is the Field House, an 8,400 square meter, 90,000 square feet, 3-story training facility which includes a running track, a 64 by 64 meter, 70 by 70 yards, artificial turf training field, a fitness and weight room, locker rooms and a running track. 12. It is part of the Commonwealth Community Recreation Centre, which also includes a 5,600 square meter, 60,000 square feet, aquatic center with a 4-lane lap pool, water slides, and a recreational pool, 2,800 square meters, 30,000 square feet, of administrative offices, and a 2,800 square meter, 30,000 square feet, fitness center. The building features a central lobby with each of the facilities in an annex. The center has leadership in energy and environmental design, LEED, silver certification. 11. Adjacent to Commonwealth Stadium lays Clark Stadium. It sits 5,000 and is both used as a training field and as the home ground of the Canadian Premier League side FC Edmonton. 22. The stadium is served by Stadium Station of the Edmonton Light Rail Transit Capital Line. During Elks games, the service frequency is increased. The City of Edmonton and the Elks cooperate on the Green and Go program, which provides free transit rides to the venue from 6 park and ride lots throughout Edmonton. Any holder of a pre-purchased game ticket can travel for free on the services from these lots to Commonwealth Stadium. The program is initiated by the city to minimize parking and congestion in the stadium's neighborhood. Game tickets are also valid fare on the LRT service from 2 hours prior to games to 2 hours after games. The city declares a neighborhood parking ban in the vicinity of the stadium during games, with only cars with residential permits being allowed to be parked on streets. 23. Elks flags. Side entrance. Events. The Eskimos playing the Montreal Alouettes on August 26, 2005, image during TV commercial break. The view from the side of the stadium. Athletics. Commonwealth Stadium was the centerpiece of the 1978 Commonwealth Games, which were hosted from August 3 to 12. The Games saw 1,474 athletes from 46 nations competed in 128 events. Canada conducted its all-time best performance, capturing 45 gold medals and 109 medals in total. Commonwealth Stadium hosted the athletics events, too, which consisted of 38 events, 23 for male and 15 for female competitors, citation needed, as well as the opening and closing ceremonies, too. The success and popularity of the Commonwealth Games resulted in Edmonton bidding for and being selected to host the 1983 Summer Universiade. Commonwealth Stadium was again selected to host the athletics events, in addition to the opening and closing ceremonies. 24 male and 17 female athletics events were hosted, citation needed. The Games saw 2,400 participants from 73 countries, but did not attract the same public attention as the Commonwealth Games had. The 2001 World Championships in Athletics were held at Commonwealth Stadium between August 3 and 12, featuring 1,677 participants from 189 nations. Canadian football. Commonwealth Stadium has been the home of the Canadian Football League's Edmonton Elks since the 1978 season. In the 1977 season, the last whole season at Clark, the Eskimos drew an average 25,324 spectators, filling up the venue to its capacity for 7 of 8 games. 24. For the 1979 season, they drew an average 42,540 spectators, selling out 7 of 8 games. 25. The all-time regular season attendance record is 62,517, set against the Saskatchewan Roughriders on September 26, 2009. 26. 28 regular season Edmonton Elks games have sold out at Commonwealth. With the laying of artificial turf in 2010, the team stopped training on Clark Stadium and have since used Commonwealth Stadium as their training ground. Soccer. Edmonton Drillers. The Edmonton Drillers of the North American Soccer League, then the premier soccer league in Canada and the United States, was established in 1979 with the relocation of the Oakland Stompers. Bought by Peter Pocklington, the team chose to play its first 3 seasons at Commonwealth Stadium. The team played to home playoff matches during the 1980 season. 63. The Drillers averaged between 9,923 and 10,920 in their first 3 seasons. 64. After having lost $10.5 million in 3 years, Pocklington chose to relocate to Clark Stadium for the 1982 season. This caused average attendance to plummet to 4,922, and the team was disbanded at the end of the year. Canadian Soccer Association. In the past, because of its natural turf, Commonwealth Stadium has been a favored stadium for the Canadian Soccer Association to host national games. It has hosted 18 games of the men's national soccer team and 2 of the men's under-20 national team. The most intense period was between 1995 and 2000, when 13 A-team games were played. The A-team has played 9 FIFA World Cup qualification and 5 friendly matches at Commonwealth. The record attendance of 51,936 was set when Canada tied Brazil 1-1 on June 5, 1994, 65. The Canadian Soccer Association twice invited to the Canada Cup, a 3- or 4-way invitational international friendly tournament, with all matches hosted at Commonwealth Stadium. The 1995 Canada Cup featured Canada, Northern Ireland and Chile, 66, while the 1999 Canada Cup featured Canada U23, Iran, Ecuador and Guatemala U23, 67. On November 16, 2021, the stadium hosted a third-round match in the CONCACAF 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers between Canada and Mexico. With a 2-1 victory, Canada defeated Mexico for the first time in 21 years, taking the lead in the pool. Due to the frigid prairie temperatures of November, Canada Soccer tweeted that the stadium was Canada's frozen fortress, while fans also nicknamed the field Estadio Azteca or the Azteca, in reference to Mexico's home field Estadio Azteca. With a temperature of -9 degrees Celsius at kickoff, it was the coldest game in Mexico national team history. Ice hockey. The 2003 Heritage Classic was an outdoor ice hockey game played on November 22 between the National Hockey League (NHL) sides Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens. The first regular season NHL game to be played outdoors, it saw the Canadiens win 4-3 in front of a crowd of 57,167, despite temperatures of close to -18 degrees C, 88, -30 degrees Celsius, -22 degrees Fahrenheit with wind chill, 89. It was held to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Oilers joining the NHL in 1979 and the 20th anniversary of their first Stanley Cup win in 1984. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation television broadcast drew 2.747 million viewers in Canada, the second highest audience for a regular season NHL game. 88. The 2023 Heritage Classic was played at Commonwealth Stadium, where the Edmonton Oilers hosted the Calgary Flames in the first outdoor NHL Battle of Alberta. 90, where the Oilers won 5-2. 91. Rugby Union. Commonwealth Stadium has been used to host Churchill Cup matches. The 2004 edition had the first round played in Calgary and the second round played at Commonwealth Stadium. 92. The 2005 edition saw all matches being played in Edmonton, with the final drawing a crowd of 17,000. 93. In the 2006 edition, the three finals were played at Commonwealth Stadium. 94. The 2006 Women's Rugby World Cup was hosted in Edmonton and its suburb, St. Albert. Most of the Edmonton games were played at Ellerslie Rugby Park, but the final, third-place match and fifth-place match were all played at Commonwealth Stadium. 95-96. On June 9, 2018, the Canadian men's national team played host to Scotland, world number 6 at the time, in a test match at Commonwealth Stadium. Scotland came away with a 48-10 victory over Canada, in front of a crowd of 12,824 at Commonwealth Stadium. Other events. In 1980, the venue hosted a Billy Graham event during his Northern Canada crusade. In 1983, the Edmonton Trappers AAA baseball team defeated the California Angels of Major League Baseball in an exhibition baseball game witnessed by a crowd of